All right, and we are back with another episode of Don't Hit Send. I have my co-host Cheska with me. I have JB here, and I'm Paul B. Knight. So, the first topic that we're going to start on is, can a person be monogamous? All right. And I had a different...
And you can speak from a man's perspective, I guess, because you can say, can a man, whatever you want to do.
Okay. So, as I've stated before and in the past, I feel like when it comes to monogamy, I think a person can't... I must talk from as far as a man. I don't think a man can be truly 100,000% monogamous until he feels whatever his feeling of him feeling like that is, until he's soyed his royal oats enough. I feel like a man has to definitely, you know what I'm saying, we man, so, you know, we got certain things that we like and all of that, and I don't feel like a man can actually be 100% there until he's done that. So in my case, I started very early, probably earlier than I should have. And so even in my case or whatnot, like it still took me a little longer, you know, even at that, even in my case or whatnot, to get to a point to where I say, like, you know what, I have had, more than my share of women. I've done this. I want monogamy. I want one woman. I'm cool with just dealing with one woman and that's it. I personally feel like when it comes to a lot of men, the men that still maneuver around and cheat or, do whatever it is that they actually do are the men that, this is just my opinion, this is what I like to believe. What I like to believe is that they possibly, two things, either possibly they didn't get started that early or got enough of it out of their system yet, or I just think that they're just flat out scumbags.
That's valid.
You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, it's no in between. Like, either.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
where's the...
yeah,
Some people just not shit.
yeah. Or they just flat out scumbags. So that's what I honestly feel. And the thing of it is, because I know certain people, when it comes to certain men and stuff like that, for some men, it's harder to, have the certain options and things like that. Some men, it's a little tougher for it. Some men...
Like Tristan Thompson.
Huh? What was that?
Like Tristan Thompson, he was with Khloe Kardashian.
Yeah, Tristan.
He just kept cheating.
Yeah, Tristan. Well, like I said, either he's a scumbag or he didn't jump off the porch early enough. To me, that's just the way I see it, and that's the way I look at it or whatnot. I'm sure there's different variables, what I'm saying, outside of that, but I like to believe it's those two main things or whatever. So that's what I'll say leading off. And I'll pass it over to the good brother JB over here and get his perspective. It's already know.
He's shaking his head. So Pastor JB, what you got to say?
Look, I don't know. I feel like this. I feel like it starts early. So I feel like it's more on how you're raised. I think that has a larger part. So like you said, you got started early. I think that's also the problem, is because it's like a habit. You've been drinking alcohol your whole life. It's hard to kick it at 40. It's hard to kick a habit. So for people, I think, who, understand the value and what sex is and all that type of stuff, I think it makes it easier for that person to recognize that, you know what, maybe I should be faithful, because I think everybody's had opportunities to do things, but when you jump off the porch early, middle school and high school, I just think you create bad habits. I feel like I was in the same boat. I think at some point you just got to make a decision to say, okay, I'm done doing this or I'm not. But I think the habits are hard to kick because if you look around, the habit is sleeping, 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 sleeping. Now you're forced to be with one person, and it's already a bunch of bad habits. And I think that's what makes it difficult because you're used to constantly doing whatever you want.
Do what you want to do.
Restrictions are put on you. You don't know how to act. And I think that's the problem. There was never any discipline. And because of that, now it's time for you to be disciplined and you just don't have the ability.
Discipline.
Mm.
Yes. 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 Yes.
I don't necessarily think anybody is one way or the other. I just think whatever habits you created early, it makes it harder for you to now finally stop doing that. I look at it no different than weight loss or exercise. You never worked out. You never did this. So why would we believe you're going to start working out at 40? And if you've never been committed, you've never done these things, you slept with 100,000 people, why would you think that all of a sudden now you're going to stop? That's the way I look at it.
Well, no, that's the way. Go ahead. I feel like Cheska was about to say something because I had something else to say, but go ahead, Cheska. And then I'll follow what I want to say after you.
I think that everyone is getting valid points. I know JB said something about discipline. There's people that just don't have self-control.
Yep.
They just don't have self-control. And I think it all depends on also what access you have. You take an average Joe, maybe he's average, looking, kind of attractive, whatever, but his options are not going to be the same as someone who's, of higher net worth, higher status, that's getting women thrown at them 24/7. So when asking this question, who are we talking about? Are we talking about the average Joe? Like, let's be real. Like, we're like, this is like the average person. Or are we talking about elite people that, and maybe they came from nothing, they never had anything, and then all of a sudden they have access to a plethora of women? Can they be monogamous? Can they, do they need to get it out their system, PK? And then,
I think, I personally feel like when it comes to that, status and looks are subjective. So because that's the actual case or whatnot, I feel like that it's certain guys out here that you could put a guy that a lot of women may perceive as like, okay, you know what I'm saying, he's handsome, he's a nice looking man. And then you could put just a regular smuggler guy that maybe he wasn't that attractive at all to some, to a lot of women. I know some guys like that who some women just weren't really that into them, but who they were drew the women in or whatnot. Whether if they had charisma, whether, maybe the woman thought they were funny. I don't know. I know a couple guys like that or whatnot. And I just think it's based off of your personal network and who you're around and different things like that. Obviously, status and money changes a lot of things, obviously. We all know that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think that, it's some guys that whether they had the money or the status, just knew how to always sort of have their way with women.
What do you mean? Like they always... So before the status? Is that
before the status, before the money, before, all that. Some guys just know how to talk to women. I'm just being perfectly honest with you. Some guys just know how to talk to women. Sometimes it's not, no, status, I'll say this. If we talk about like status and different things like that, obviously, when your tax bracket is different, you're obviously going to be more accessible to women.
Right, and they're going to find you more desire. You're going to get more things or options thrown at you because of the status.
But my thing is too, but we got to really put this in perspective. What about the guys that are out here faking it, faking the status, faking who they are? There's guys
They
out
still
here.
get it.
There's guys out here that will go out here and rent a Lamborghini or a Maserati, you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, and rent that, and you meet them or whatever the case may be, you get to know them over time. Maybe they have been wolves in sheep's clothing, pretending to be somebody that they aren't, or whatever the case is. The problem is a lot of women. Notice I said a lot of women. I didn't say all women. See, I'm
Disclaimer.
getting better out here.
Yeah, you are. You are. You are.
So the thing about it is, there are a lot of women who will immediately associate themselves and attach themselves to what perceives as them that tax bracket or status, because you really don't know what a person is making unless you're actually living on a day to day with them, or if you're seeing their bank statements, or if you're seeing any of those things.
Right.
Anybody can be whoever they want to be. Now, it's only so long until you can pretend, until your cover's blown, if that's what you're on. But the point is,
Yeah.
but the point of the matter is, that's why I go back to, like, there's some guys who just know how to get women, regardless of the situation or whatnot. But regardless of the fact, the whole point here is this: it's back to monogamy. Um, I will, I'm saying, piggyback off what JB said, because the mentality is definitely the key. Because the thing is, until you reach a certain mentality to understand, like, okay, this is a woman, I'm in a relationship with her, I got a good woman, I got to make sure I do right by her. Some guys will get in relationships with good women and still step out. Me myself personally,
Thank you.
like, when I'm actually like in like an actual relationship, I'm not on that. Now, when I'm single, I have my options, but when I'm in a relationship, I'm not on that, because I'm cool with that. I'm cool with just building with that and getting to know that and seeing if that situation can work out. But a lot of guys will go out here and do whatever the case may be. And I think,
But you know why?
why do you think? Yeah, you ain't told me why you think. Let's hear why you think that.
I'll tell you why.
Let's hear it.
So it's validation. It has to do with how they're feeling inside.
Uh-huh.
And no matter if they have a really good woman who's doing everything, and this is the thing, there's some women that would be like, yeah, if you do this, he's not gonna cheat. No. If you have a man that's constantly seeking validation, and maybe that has to do with trauma, I can't diagnose people. Maybe they have mommy issues, whatever it is. They are going to still seek that attention elsewhere. It doesn't matter if you doing it on the handstand, cleaning, cooking, all that, being the best feminine woman, cooperative, as you say.
Yes.
If he feels that way, he's going to do it.
Okay.
Point blank.
I think that's a fair assessment. So now that we're kind of diving into the man and things like that, from the woman's perspective, because it's a lot of sayings out there that says that when it comes to women, I've heard a term, I've heard this for many years, where it says, like, women are only as faithful as their options. What is your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on?
Wait, what is that?
I'm telling you, if this is something I've always heard. I just want to know how you feel about it.
So, if a woman sees a better option, she's not faithful. Is that what that?
Well, if she sees a better, let's say she's with a guy or whatnot. Let's say she's perhaps happy. I don't know. So let's say she is happy, and she comes across somebody that may seem a little bit more appealing for whatever reason. Maybe more status, maybe more finances, maybe anything like that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. So if that's a particular situation, I've had heard many stories on that, where it says, and then you hear stories where, and I sort of believe this too, to a degree. Obviously, maybe not all women, but I think a lot of women, I think that just about every woman has a price. Whenever that price, and the price is not, a price is not always monetary. It's not does not have to be always financial.
So what does that mean? Like you talking about what are you talking about? Like emotional needs, physical
Yeah, it can
needs?
be
Like what are you talking about?
emotional. I mean, you still gotta anything you're in or whatever you're dealing with or deciding not to deal with, it all comes at a price. Price
Okay.
doesn't always necessarily mean finances. It can mean that's a plethora of different things. You know what I mean?
Okay. So I'm gonna say this: as humans, we all have needs,
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
Whether it's through family, friendship, romantic.
Mhm.
So this goes for women and men. Let's say, you're a woman, you have a good guy, you come across someone that maybe, I don't know, is appealing or whatever, but at the same time, you're rocking with that person that you're with. You even stated it yourself. And I'm sure if you're in love with the person, yeah, you may see someone that has a fat ass or whatever,
Yeah.
fat booty, but you have already invested in that. Like, what does that even mean? So the same goes for a woman. And of course, I'm not talking about every person. There's people that cheat with men and women.
Yeah.
But to say that women have a price, I mean, it's kind of unfair because we as humans all have needs.
No.
You could say the same
No.
about
I get all of
a
that.
man.
I guess what I'm more so
Yeah.
referring to is, let's say a woman's with somebody and she's happy in that
Yeah.
moment. But let's say somebody comes along that seems more appealing.
hmm I mean, emotions are fleeting. You say in that moment, they could be appealing, but you still don't know that person. You're not invested with them. And if your partner is doing something or having something that's lacking, even though she's happy, maybe he's lacking emotionally or physically or
But
something.
my thing is,
That's what you got to communicate.
but my thing is, why would it take? And this is just me trying to understand. Like seriously, I'm not being petty right now. I promise. So like,
Uh-huh.
so the thing of it is that if she's already happy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is going off if she's happy. Why should it take another potential person to come in and awaken like, oh, dang, this person does this. Jerome ain't doing this, though. That's what I'm referring to. Like, that's
I mean,
hypergamy.
it's not. No, it's not hypergamy. It's only hypergamy if. Well, first of all, I'm not gonna get into that definition. I don't think it's hypergamy. Let's say you have a burger, right? It's whatever. But then you experience or you see something smelling really nice, and it's a gourmet burger. It's like, wait a minute.
Oh my
I actually would like. No, I have to do it. I actually would like my own burger to be as good as this burger. So instead of going to this burger, I'm gonna make sure this burger I have is tender and juicy. Like I want it to be like that burger. I'm not trying to go to that burger, but I'm gonna sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, but sometimes it does take viewing from the outside or viewing something else. Like, yeah, I am lacking that in my relationship. And that doesn't necessarily make it bad. Maybe it's something she or he didn't realize.
Okay, but you don't see that. Okay, because here's the thing. I'm gonna say this, and then I'll let JB say something because he look like he wants to say something.
Yeah, I'm
So
curious.
my thing is, okay, so if a person decides to do that, all right, so that would just essentially mean that if you're with a guy and you're happy, and then you come across another guy, and you're like, oh man, this burger, oh, it got the extra, oh, it's the extras on the burger. Like, this burger, this is probably the move, right? So let's say you go with this delicious other burger, right? So then you go to this delicious other burger, but then it's something else out there when you get to that person. It seems even, it's a never ending process.
Oh yeah,
That's what,
No, I
that's
agree.
more what I'm referring to. Like at some point, you
Okay.
gotta, if you're happy, be happy and work through
Right.
whatever problems or whatever it is.
Well, that's why I said work through. That's why I say
Yeah.
pay attention to the
Right.
burger you have and not.
But for a lot of people, they have this grass is greener on the other side mentality, and in most cases, it's not. Like look at who is the Tia Mori? We ain't gonna get into that tonight. But anyway, all right. So let's go to JB. All right.
The thing is, I feel like it's mostly people just. The reality is, people just don't have a long-term thought process. Because if you've never been forced to do something for a long time, like what's this? I'm going on 18 years being married. So if you've never been forced to do one thing for 18 years, the problem with all these dating conversations is nobody ever even makes it to marriage. Everything that we discuss is pre-marriage. It's girlfriends and boyfriends, it's colleges, it's high school, it's middle school, it's I'm dating till I'm 40, and it's divorced people. That's what this whole conversation is always about. So if a bunch of people have been broken up with 1,000 times, heartbroken 1,000 times, divorced 3 times, never even could commit to nobody, what are we even talking about? It's a bunch of people who have never been able to make it work with one person, trying to make it work with one person, because the reality is you're probably going to end up broken up again. That's more likely to happen.
And then you go through another period of cycle, and then you go through another.
But then you carry all of that with you into the next
That baggage.
whatever.
Yeah.
So it's a bunch of just damaged people. Dating damaged people, creating more damaged people.
That people.
So
That's a fact.
what
That's a
didn't
fact.
trigger you at 20 triggers you now at 30. And that's the problem to me, is that when you look at it from a long-term perspective, you look at it and you say, okay, of course, she's going to go through ups and downs with her emotions because you with somebody for a long period of time. So no, they're not always going to be happy. No, they're not always going to want to get up that morning. It's not going to be perfect. So this is where it does become an issue, because now you go to work and the guy that didn't seem attractive comforted you in that moment. It's never just this thing to where it's like, oh, I just woke up today and wanted to do blah, blah, blah. A lot of times it's a whole drawn out process that takes time. And if the situation between you and whoever you're with gets worse, it just makes those opportunities easier. And then there's predators that sit around witnessing this, waiting for their opportunity.
Waiting on that moment.
So
yeah.
Trials at
we're
work.
not addressing the predators that just sit back in the cut like, okay, it's my chance. So
Right.
to me, it's never just a one person. Yeah, there are people who probably just don't care and just wake up with the intent to harm. But if you were to ask me, I think most people want to do the right thing. It's just not in them. There's nothing in them, because when those opportunities come up, they take them. Or, it's like you're too weak in those moments and you take them. So the problem is that at some point, you do have to prove that even when times are rough, I can still stay strong in these moments. That's for anybody.
Yep.
That's why you always hear me say, you ain't never heard me say, oh, I got this awesome marriage and so forth. No, I could be divorced tomorrow. Anybody, you're always one step away from the ending. So you got to carry things as if I want it to stay, because if not, it will end. There ain't no guarantee that it's going to keep going. So I just think at the end of the day, if both people want it to work, then they have to make that decision to make it work. Because if not, I can guarantee that somebody's going to pop up trying to take your man. Somebody's going to pop up and try to take your woman. They're waiting. They're sitting around. There's a guy at the job.
Oh yeah.
There's a girl at the job. There's somebody.
Friends.
Yeah, there's somebody at the rec center. Somebody that the person at the grocery store. These people are always there. It's just you gotta be able to say, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna stick with what I got up here, and that's what makes it tough. And I don't think, and from a woman's perspective, because I got 3 daughters, and I honestly believe naturally women want to be with one guy. I believe there's a genuine connection. If you could give them the guy they want, though. Now, if she don't get the guy she wants, that might be something different. But if she could get the guy she wanted at 16 or 17, I think it's easier for her to stay connected to him. I think what happens over time is that I think two things happen. Whoever's popular, if it's sexy reds, the girls think they have to behave that way to get guys. So I think they start to copy and mimic what other women are doing. Because if you notice, all it takes is a bunch of women to wear lashes. Now all the women want lashes. All it takes is a bunch of women to wear green weaves. Now everybody want to wear green weaves. Women be competing against each other all the time because whatever's popular, they think is going to get a man. I think that's one aspect of it. They're just doing whatever they think will get them a man. The other aspect is I think they learn cheating from guys. I think because guys in a very early age of their life don't want commitment so much that those behaviors of lying and doing this and sleeping around, I just think over time the women just go, oh well, shoot, somebody did to me, I'm about to start doing it. Because
Nah. I gotta stop your in your track.
no,
right
no, listen.
No,
No,
rebuttal.
no,
What?
All guys
No,
don't act like this.
He's speaking facts,
No,
though.
watch this. PJ, all guys don't act like this. But I guarantee you're not going to tell me with a straight face there's any high school kid right now that wants to be married. You won't say that. You won't say it.
No.
It ain't true.
So
But
what's
guess
the
what they're
point?
doing? They started sleeping around in middle school.
But the whole point of this is there are just, unfortunately, because you got to understand, there's some young girls out there that even at 14, 15, 16, 17, or whatever the case is, seen trash examples, whether that was through their mother, or whether through their auntie, seen on their boyfriends, or this and that. There's trash out there still, too.
But here's what I'm saying. But I addressed that when I said the influence by the people. So if it's a sexy red, if they promoted Aisha Curry where they promote all the stripper rappers, I think you would have more Aisha Curry.
But my thing is, why would there? Okay,
But that's not what's promoted.
But my thing is, why would there be women? Why would you just solely hang? So you're talking about your three girls. Your three girls different.
No, I'm not.
But here's the point. The point of the matter is, when there's women who grew up, and they actually seen their mothers, their aunties, or whoever it was, or whatnot, right? Look like JB disappeared. I'm sure he'll be back. But anyway,
The screen went away.
yeah.
You know, it went away, right, JB?
Yeah, he'll come back. But I'm gonna just trust you can hear me though. So there are certain women out here who watched and seen their mothers, their aunties. Think about all the broken homes that a lot of women came up in. Jessica, you were. I'm not firm on this. I feel like I'm about to just assume that. Did you grow up with both your parents in the household? I think you did, didn't you?
I grew up. So my mom and dad co-parented. However, my mom remarried when I was when I was 9.
Okay, but you actually seen a good
Yes.
dynamic of love and
Yes.
okay, cool.
Yes.
So that's where I'm at with it. But you gotta understand, there's a lot of these women out here who did not grow up and actually they seen their mother go with this man. They seen their mother.
Oh.
They seen their mother tell this young lady or tell their daughter like, oh, this is your Uncle Tommy, and this is just some new guy.
I mean,
They seen, you know what I'm saying? They seen those behaviors
Here's the
too,
thing.
so we gotta talk about that. We don't talk about it yet.
We know, but what you saying, that ain't not true. Yeah, it don't take away from what I'm saying, because the point I'm saying is I believe naturally women are followers naturally. So whether they're following their mama's poor example or their mama's good example, or they're following Cardi B, the point I'm making is they're following somebody. And even if you eliminate all of that, they still have a longing and desire to want to be connected with the guy that they want.
Over a young man. So basically, you said like over a young man, more of them over a young man.
Yeah.
Okay,
And I'm not
okay.
talking about 30-year-olds.
Okay, no.
I'm talking about
No, that's fair.
they're
That's
younger
fair.
before they.
That's fair.
I'm talking about before they go down
The path of
hole.
everything.
Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
saying at an early age they dream about being married.
Yeah.
Dream about being with a
Okay.
guy. They dream of this.
I'm with
What
you.
saying is,
I'm with you on that. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, but because guys we don't dream about marriage.
Right.
Matter of fact, it ain't even on our mind at 14. So what I'm saying is, but because of that, it doesn't stop guys from pursuing. And what's that? Why must I chase the cat? It ain't nothing but the dog in me. When dudes stop behaving in that manner, I think you would get less of this activity from women. Because we also know this. How many women did we deal with that only slept with us because they thought it would keep us? How many women got pregnant by us because they thought it would keep us? A lot of times women are doing stuff to try to keep us around, and we don't want to be around. And I'm saying that dynamic is the dynamic that is always overlooked in this. Because you can't have 5 million teenage girls experience stuff like this. And then when now they're 25 and they're acting a certain way, now everybody's complaining about how they're behaving. All I'm saying is, I'm not surprised that the modern woman is the way it is because the behavior of the males created the modern woman. That's what I'm saying.
I agree. Why aren't men taught at a young age that their body is also sacred? Why is it that women, okay, like be careful, but men, it's like, yeah, you got this. If they were taught to piggyback, if they were taught like, hey, listen, it's actually not cool to sleep with like a plethora of women and have soul ties or all, like that's the problem too. Like men, little boys, they're not taught to keep their body, like their body is a temple. They're just not. So that's like this. I agree. That's the start of the problem.
Okay.
And I say that's the start. Now, of course, I know because we get into all this online stuff and there's 100 million comebacks. But I don't address the stuff later. I just like to address the beginning. Because when people start dating, they're doing this in middle school. They're doing this in high school. And even some of them are doing this in elementary school. When you see the little girl walking around holding hands with a 5-year-old boy in kindergarten, everybody laughing, talking about this is my boyfriend. That's when this stuff starts. This stuff don't just start at 30 and at 40. So if we're not addressing the behaviors that create these messed up kids, then I'm just saying, if you look at the dating market and you just follow the last 30 years, it makes perfect sense why we're where we're at.
Okay, but my thing is too, and I'm gonna end this with this because we got to move on to the next topic for sure. This is good, and honestly, this particular topic we like over 30, we some time in.
Yeah.
This could have actually went the whole episode. So we gotta get to the last topic, and I definitely don't want to spend a lot of time on the next topic. I just want to say how I feel. But anyway, what I'll say is, yes, there's a lot of truth to what you just said as well, but also, there should be women out here that understand mentally that just because George or Cliff jumps off the cliff doesn't mean I have to too. So my thing is, at some point, there has to be some women out here with emotional intelligence somewhere, even if it's a little bit, to understand that logic and concept.
I would agree with that, but then that's where the sleeping together part comes in. Because once he breaks her off, it's pretty much a wrap at that point. You can almost, if you doing whatever you're supposed to do right, it ain't pretty much nothing that can't happen after that. She's yours. And that's the reality. And then especially if she ain't never had it like that either, yeah, it's a wrap.
Okay. Well, we'll end it on that note, and we're gonna leave all of y'all, y'all ideas. Leave them in the comments in there. Definitely leave it in the comments. Let us know how y'all feel about that. As far as people being monogamous. All right. So to the final topic, Ashanti and Nelly. Okay.
I don't even get this. This don't even make no sense to me. I don't even understand
you don't get why. They've been together. Well, they've been on and off. They were like together in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Nelly basically describes exactly what I've been saying this whole time. Why he ain't married her?
That's my thoughts too.
Why he ain't married? She's so awesome.
She's
But
so amazing.
Dated for 100 years. Why he ain't
there are people who don't. They could be married already, but there are people, and
But
there's
we know they're pregnant now. So why, if they are married now,
true?
if they're married now, why don't we know they're married?
Ashanti's pregnant, JB.
No, that's official. I thought
She's
it was
pregnant.
like
Oh, she's pregnant.
oh wow.
That goes more to my point.
So,
Point.
so what's your point?
Okay.
Hold on, does Nelly got any kids outside of Ashanti?
Yes. I think he got like 3 or 4 kids, bro.
He does?
That's
I'm pretty positive
I
he
didn't know
does.
that.
I wish
Does
Hold
Ashanti
on,
got
hold
any
on,
kids?
hold on.
look it up,
Does
Tessa.
Ashanti got any
Look it up
kids?
to make sure I'm not capping right now. Make sure I'm not capping.
Nelly children.
How many kids does
Does Ashanti have any kids?
how many
This her first.
how many kids does Nelly have? Just type that into Google.
Nelly has. Oh wait, it pulled up Nick Cannon. Hold on, I got it.
Oh wow.
We don't want to pull Nick Cannon up. We not. Oh,
Nick Cannon got 12 kids. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, he has 2. Oh,
No.
girl. No, he has 2 kids. That's what it says.
are we firm on this?
That's what Google says. He has a daughter.
I could have
Wait
sworn
a,
he
wait
had
a
at
minute.
least-
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Wait a minute now. I could have sworn he had more than 2 kids.
Hold on. I'm trying to. It says Nelly has 2 children, Chanel Haynes and Cornell Haynes.
I guess that's
Okay.
it. He got 2. Now
Okay,
he
so I
got
was
3.
wrong. So
That's not
regardless-
bad.
That's not bad. But regardless of the fact, guess what? The man's almost 50. And
Ain't no
my
way.
thing with that is the whole standpoint of this is with Ashanti and all of that. And you got this woman back because he had been trying to get her back for a minute. I know you know that.
Yeah, I know.
And she was kind of shrugging him off for some years. You know that.
But can you blame him?
Huh?
But can you blame her for shrugging him off?
No. I totally understand.
Okay, here's the thing. How long were they together before the recent?
That's a great question.
Wasn't it like 10 years?
Was it that? I don't know if it was that long. Was it? Was it that long?
I think it was like 10 years.
Was
I
it
know it was
10
more than
years?
5. It had to be more than.
It was okay, 5 to
10
10
years? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Was it?
wow. It was okay. So 03 to 23. Wow, you're right.
10 years,
boy.
boy. Ding, ding, ding.
Wow.
And then they
no
record-
ring,
and they give
nothing.
And you mean to tell me
Yeah.
they
all right.
they ended in 2013 and they get back in 2023,
10 years later.
10 years later, and now she's pregnant. And now there's still
You
no
gotta-
wedding ring on or
Yeah.
They could have had a whole 4 kids, someone in
Could have had a whole Brady Bunch. He could have had a whole what is that called? The X-Men school. He could have had a whole
but if Nelly really got 2 kids, salute to him. I think he did good. I think he did pretty good. But anyway, that's not the point here. The point here is the fact that at this point and at this age or whatnot, if you had to work that hard to get her back, you should have proposed to her within the first month or 2.
in the words of Jagged Edge, we ain't getting no younger, girl. We might as well do it.
You hear me? They're not getting no younger. She's
Right.
43. I think she's like 43. And
She's
I think
42.
Nelly,
Her age. Hey,
She
she's
looks
like,
great.
listen,
she looks great,
Right.
right? But and Nelly's aging well too. You know, pause. You know, he's aging well. So the point is he's almost 50. You know what I mean? So my thing is that at this particular point, it's just like, bruh, the lady what did she just buy him for his birthday? What kind of car was it?
I forgot what kind of car, but it was a substantial car.
It was
Very-
at least a couple $100,000, I do believe.
Oh, yeah, that's something you buy your husband.
So my thing is, brother, what more do you need? This woman took you back after she shrugged you off for these years. Because Nelly, I don't know if y'all remember at the Versus was that. I think it was at the Jai. I don't know if y'all seen the Jai and Fat Joe Versus. Ashanti came out. Nelly was there. I seen it.
And I remember that.
I seen it. And Nelly was kind of trying to, trying to throw something out there then. And she kind of was just playfully like, kind of dodging him. Maybe that's where it started. That was probably a couple of years ago. or so. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the point, well, that's where it started again. But the point is, at this age, at almost 50, she's 43. This is going to be her first kid. So I guess this will now be his third kid if Google's accurate. So I just feel like at this particular point, what are we waiting on here?
You bring a good question. Why do you think, both of you guys, why do you think that some people don't want to get married? Do you think it's out of fear? Do you think they just want to play around? Well,
I think it's definitely out of fear. Here's the thing.
Because there's people, but there's people that say, I don't want the government on me. It's a piece of paper.
But I think there's some truth to that on why some people feel like that. But I think a huge part of it stems from fear. And the fear factor of it is the fact that, like, yo, I really got to spend the rest of my life with this motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's the mind. It's the mind that has to shift and be like, yo, like, am I really ready for this? Because I gotta wake up to one woman, sleep with one woman, this, that, and the third. And for me, my whole thing about it is that, you marry somebody. I mean, of course, there's some people that haven't. Most of us have at least test drove where we decided to get in. And so if you test drove it and you was pleased with the results or whatnot, and you love their company and being around them, and they provide value, and they check the boxes that work for you, then in my opinion, it's just like, it's nothing to really, be scared or afraid of or whatever. If you find a good...
That was all a boo.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay.
What?
No.
JP's like, what?
No. That was...
Nah. Yo.
No, man. No.
Uh-oh.
We can have these, we every podcast, we can have these same old stuff because it's going to come back to the same thing. The men. Nelly got money. He got status. He got kids out of wedlock. He got a woman for 10 years. Don't marry her. Gets her pregnant at 50. He's doing all this stuff. And then this started with, well, he had to fight to get her back. Duh. We should be maybe even questioning should she even took him back. Because if that was my daughter, I would look at her and say, you stupid. What do you mean you going to take this man back and he ain't marry you? It took him 10 years to realize that he wanted you. Then y'all broke up for this reason. Now you pregnant by him, I say delete my number. Don't call me.
You go disown. You gotta disown. Like, what? I taught you better than that.
I taught you way better than that. You ain't listening. No. The problem is exactly what you said is what most guys. Why would a man be afraid of getting married? Either you don't want to get married or you do.
But this is an issue. You see people that have been together 5-10 years, and I'm not talking about from high school. I give leeway to when you're young. Like, you're 15, whatever. Y'all dating until 25, 26. And I'm talking about 30 and on, 20, late 20s and on. You dating for years. I don't know what happened to...
But what I'm saying is still would you be afraid to get married? The thing, that's what I'm saying. The thing, if you're all
right, I'm back out.
It's because you brought up a great point. If you're afraid to get married at 15 or 20,
well, that's...
If you're afraid to get married at 30,
30.
You're already thinking about the fact that they ain't never gonna work.
Right. That's why I give leeway to when you're younger and you're dating 10 years, 15, 25. Okay.
Like I get an example. Do y'all remember with Scottie Pippen's wife, the Michael Jordan stuff?
Yeah.
I like to go to all these date videos and go to the comment section. And when I see regular everyday internet people up here talking about oh man, see, that's why you never get married. Look at these celebrities getting robbed and they taking them to the house.
Yeah, I know.
Like, what?
I know. They're like, well, marriage is a sham. Blah, 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 blah.
Right. So to me, that's the problem is that when you already got the wrong mentality, it's probably just better off that you don't get married no way. Because if you're afraid to get married, you shouldn't even be thinking about marriage. And that's
Yeah.
that's the easiest way for me to look at it. If you are fearful that your wife is gonna leave you, marriage should be as far away from your brain as possible. You are not qualified to marry.
Not
Stay away from my
qualified.
daughters. I got 3 of them, and stay
Denied.
away from them.
That's facts. I love that.
And then the fact that Nelly got us pregnant and did not propose, or they're not talking.
Well, he may be planning to, or maybe they're already secretly married.
How many opportunities has he had at this point? I'm saying I'm never not gonna look at this as a father. If that was my daughter, and I said he's pregnant, and he still ain't got no ring on your finger, that I'm gonna be upset.
Yeah. No,
Because I guess he don't got to. He rich or he's high value. So I guess high value means get to do whatever they want.
well, yeah, that's another topic.
I know, but that's I mean, listening to the internet, if you high value, you can do anything.
Well, yeah, some of these high value people, they be getting like, they have like 3-4 baby mamas, like, and I'm talking about like athletes and stuff. It's just like, okay.
Yeah, that's all it is. I know you missed some of the conversation, but it's just when I look at it, I don't know what just happened right there. I'm gonna look at stuff as a father. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my 3 girls, if they were behaving like Ashanti, I'd block them.
Well, it sounds like you're raising them right, and they are going to demand more for themselves. Not to shade Ashanti or no. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they already have those plans, but I get what you're saying. There has to be the person has to stand on something, and this is the problem. We are accepting breadcrumbs and not standing for something, but that's also out of fear. Or if I do this, he may leave me, and then we have a fear of being alone. So that's a whole other trajectory, right? And I think that starts from when you're younger too. Like,
I'm back out. My bad, man. Like, people irritate. Anyway, so I don't know what I
you missed a lot, but
okay.
Jessica was making a point on, I guess, women being fearful, and maybe Ashanti was afraid of losing Nelly. I don't know.
But what do you mean? What do you mean by her being afraid to lose Nelly?
so what I was saying is, so I'm saying that there's a lot of women these days that are accepting breadcrumbs, right? When I say breadcrumbs, maybe he impregnates that woman, doesn't really have a real commitment, like a long-term commitment plan, but she doesn't want to lose him. She loves him and everything, so she's willing to do anything and everything. And I think a lot of that has to stem from loneliness. I'm not saying that's what Ashanti's doing, but I'm saying that's a common occurrence of women accepting these things and never getting married, and then something happens and they're just another baby mama.
And that's how it usually turns out. And the crazy thing about it is, there's nothing wrong. Listen, I love the fact that a woman can be built for tough like her, and she's willing to withstand certain things, et cetera, et cetera. But at some point, nobody should have to withstand certain shit. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I just thought about? What if it was Nelly wanted to marry her and she didn't want to marry Nelly?
We don't know that.
We don't know.
What I'm saying. We don't know.
We don't know.
That's why I said maybe they don't want to get married, or someone doesn't want to get married. Maybe whoever.
It's all speculation. So my thing is, I like to believe that it could be a Nelly situation. Like I said, we don't know. All I know is that women control sex and relationships, men control marriage. So at the end of the day, I guarantee you, if Nelly probably would have proposed to her, depending on the circumstances of where their relationship stood, if he proposed to her 10 years ago, I'm pretty positive she probably would have said yes.
Yeah.
Is my point.
Okay.
She was willing to be with him for 10 years and then have a baby 20 years later, I guess.
20 years.
This makes sense to me. So
yeah, so it's just kind of like, I don't know, man. Like the whole situation is this. I get it. I understand some people don't. Well, Some people may not want to get married. Da, 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 da. I hear all of that, but at the end of the day, that's what we were put here to create more children, and with that, families should be together during that process.
Yeah, I agree.
Why do you think we got such a messed up society and world we live in? We have it because there aren't too many broken families.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So my thing with that is, it's like, that's something I stand behind. That's something I actually stand on or whatnot. Me personally, the baby mother I had, we're a little cooler now, but the baby mother I had, that was all I needed to fucking see. I didn't go out here and create more children and more children. I told myself, if I ever had another child, I gotta be married, flat out. I'm not out here just spreading seeds out here and all of that. Like, I just think that it should be a certain standpoint. It's crazy because you see a lot of these women on social media is just like, I ain't never believed in spinning the block, but maybe I need me like a Nelly or whatever. It's like these people it just shows you where the world is and how lost a lot of these actual people are, because a lot of these people really dictate their relationships off of people they don't know and probably will never meet in their entire lives.
That's true.
And I find that very disturbing.
I think you didn't grow up with social media.
I didn't. Well, yeah, I did not grow up with social media. It came later. So my whole thing, I guess that's what reality is, or whatever the case is now. But at the end of the day, all you can do is, hey, they had a kid. I wish them the best, and all of that. I honestly have nothing else to say on this particular topic. JB,
I think people are rooting for him, I guess. I think people want to see it work. I guess people think they look good together. So I mean, I guess it's cool, but when you're an outsider looking in, if your friend explained her situation to you and explained it that way, you're like, what?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're right. Like, if she's like, yeah, we were together for 10 years, but we got back together in the. I'm pregnant.
Exactly.
I'm like, girl, what?
Right.
Yes, I mean, me personally, I don't be caring what people do. It's your life. So at the end of the day, if she happy with them and they happy and they want to break up 30 more times, so be it, and have 10 more kids. I ain't got no problem. It's just, I always look at stuff and go, well, what would I say if I got that phone call and heard this story? Nah, it would have been ugly.
Yeah, 100%. And with that being said, Cheska, I don't know if you got anything further you want to say on it, because I definitely don't. And all I'll say is, peace and blessings to them. Hopefully it works out well for them. Make sure y'all leave y'all comments down there and let us know how y'all feel about the whole Nelly and Ashanti situation or whatnot. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Thank y'all for rocking out with us for another episode. It's always love. Appreciate y'all. Catch y'all on another episode of Don't Hit Sand. Respect.